Hello, welcome or welcome back to the Yarn and Yarns YouTube channel. My name is Angela and all the places you can find me should be linked in the description box below this video. Here on the channel you'll find me chatting about my adventures in knitting, spinning, crochet, weaving, all of the fibre related things. Today's video is day 5 of our 12 cast-ons 2024 adventure. If this happens to be the first video that you're clicking on here on the Yarn and Yarns YouTube channel, first off, you are most welcome. But second, you might be wondering what on earth I'm talking about. At the end of each year going into the beginning of next, so usually from Christmas Eve into January, I cast on 12 new projects to set myself up for my coming days, weeks, months, years worth of making. I'm someone who enjoys having a lot of projects on the needles, but I also don't always enjoy the cast on process, which I know might seem a little bit daft given I'm casting on all of the things, but this approach kind of really gets me excited about the cast on portion, whereas at other times I can quite often use gathering my yarn, pattern, needles, project bags as a means to procrastinate and just waste time. So doing this and sort of ramping up the excitement and getting the community involved works for me. So you are most welcome to join in our cast on party should you choose to do so. We are casting on, well, we started casting on the 24th of December and we're going right through until the end of January. And you don't have to cast on 12 projects, of course. I know that would be quite overwhelming for some people, but as long as you cast on one, and you can cast on up to 12, you'll be most welcome. And we're using hashtag 12castons2024 on Instagram, and also there are some threads on Ravelry. I haven't mentioned so far yet, I don't think, in these videos, that if you're not a social media user, so if you don't use Instagram or Ravelry, just reach out by email and I will make sure my email address is listed on the screen. But you'll always be able to email me via my website, which is definitely always linked below each of the videos. And just send me a picture of your cast on, and then if you're going to be joining in the year-long make-along where we try to finish our cast-ons, then you can at any point email me pictures of your finished objects too, and you're most welcome to join in that way if, as I say, you're not a social media user. Knitting, crochet, spinning, weaving, all of those kind of things count, so you don't have to stick to knitting. I don't think I made that clear this year either. Naughty me, let's give myself a smack on the wrist. I'm kind of assuming at this point that a lot of people know the rules of the make along, but anything goes. It's quite loose, it's quite easy. We just want to start new projects and have fun. Right, so today, day 5 for me, it is New Year's Day. I think this is probably going to go onto the YouTube channel a couple of weeks into January. So yeah, Happy New Year, but it'll be belated by the time you get to see this. But hey, New Year's wishes don't have to just be for the first few days of January, do they? I will be going back to work to my day job tomorrow. So after today's cast on, I'm going to be taking a break for a few days, but hopefully you won't notice too much because of the way that I'm editing and spacing out the videos this year. But I'm going to try and make the most of my last day of holiday and get another bigger project on the needles. It's also quite a miserable day here in South Wales. I'm not sure if the microphone will be picking it up, but it's raining here, so you might be able to hear the pitter-patter on the windows and the roof of my attic room here in the background. So yeah, it's a good day to stay inside and cast on something new. As usual, I've got so many projects that I'd like to cast on. It's been really difficult to narrow things down. One of the things that I'd like to do this year is to try and get a cardigan or two finished. I quite often knit jumpers, sweaters, pullovers, however you like to refer to them, because that's just what I enjoy wearing the most. But since I have now been working outside of the home and I go to an office job, I've been thinking it can be very variable in terms of temperatures in the office. And of course, when you're sitting in an office with several other people, some people run hot, some people run cold. So, you know, radiators go on, they get turned off, windows get opened. So yeah, it's kind of hard to regulate your temperature. And I'm thinking maybe a cardigan or two might be a bit more versatile for me in the office to sort of take on and off. This is the year that I'm going to try and incorporate a couple more cardigans into my wardrobe. For my first cardigan, I'm going to go all out craziness, insanity, and I'm going to be casting on a Garter Marla cardigan, which is a pattern by Stephen West. And I want to say a big thank you to the lovely Debbie over in Canada who gifted me this pattern a little while ago. And yeah, I've been looking forward to casting it on, and I think now is the perfect time. So here is the picture, or one of the pictures, from Stephen West's project page. And there are some lovely versions of this on Ravelry. Some people go completely scrappy and use all of the colours. Other people have picked out a particular colour palette, and I think they all look really nice and cosy and squishy. So yeah, it uses fingering weight yarn held double throughout, and I want to make it a few inches oversized so it's sort of something that I can wear as a layering piece. When I first looked at the yarn requirements for my size, I was like, oh my goodness, that's like nearly 10 skeins of fingering weight yarn. However am I going to justify that? And then I thought, well, let's see how far my scrap yarn will get me, so my leftovers from other projects. So I've been raiding my scrap basket, and part of me is somewhat ashamed to say that I've pulled out 900 grams of fingering weight scraps from my stash, and it's barely put a dent in the 2 baskets of leftovers that I have. In fact, those baskets weren't really accommodating all of the leftovers that I've had from previous projects, so I've now refilled them and they look no different to when I pulled out what amounts to nearly a kilo's worth of yarn. Please tell me I'm not alone. I know not everyone stashes in the same way, and you know, I've been knitting for a long time now, so I've got plenty of scraps and leftovers. So yeah, let's just say I hope I'm not the only one out there with this crazy amount of leftovers and bits and pieces hanging around. Let me show you what I've got. So I've bagged these up again. I'm not going to get them all out. I do have a shot of them all laid out, so I will put that in after I've finished waffling. But what I have decided to do is pull out, in the main, colours that are more sort of autumnal, because they are my favourites, and obviously they're what I've got quite a lot of in my leftover stash. So I've got a bag here of browns and greys and sort of neutral colours, and I think I'm going to try and hold one strand of something from this bag throughout the cardigan to sort of give it that beigey, sort of browny, greyy undertone. And then I've also got a bag of leftovers of kind of my favourite colours, so oranges, reds, yellows in that one. And then I've got a smaller bag of greens, which is also fast becoming a favourite colour. I knit a lot with orange and I knit a lot with green. So I've got those, and then to add to that I've got a few sort of blues, pinks, purples, just a few little pops of colour that I thought might be kind of fun to add in. Some of those are leftovers from projects that I've got kind of quite a nice sentimental attachment to. Some of them are just little leftovers that I thought, okay, they'll be perfect to use up in this project because I don't know when else I might use them. So yeah, I'm not sure how far this yarn will get me. I think it should get me probably through the whole cardigan, but of course I've got more leftovers if I need to dive into those. But I think we're just going to cast on and have fun, and I'm just going to randomly pull stuff from these bags and knit until they're left over. Some of my scraps, let me just, some stuff from here are really small, so I'm going to be doing quite a lot of joining in. You know, I've pulled out even, you know, these teeny tiny bits of yarn, and then others like this one, which I know was an opal yarn. I've got quite a lot left over. So yeah, I think I'm just going to swap things in, change things around, just have fun, play with the colours and see what we get. Hopefully a fun, slightly off the wall cardigan at the end. We'll see. Right, okay, so I am going to gather all these things up. I'm hoping they'll all fit in my Emma Ball Gnome project bag. I think they will. I've got a couple of other bigger project bags if I need to, but I love this. I sell these in the Yarn and Yarn shop, so a little plug for my website. And these hold a lot of yarn. I've got several different designs of the Emma Ball project bags now. And I just think the fun, colourful gnomes on here hopefully will match the fun, colourful project that's going to live inside. So yeah, I'm going to head downstairs, settle in for a cosy afternoon of knitting, and we'll see how far we can get today. it's time to wrap up day 5, my garter marla cardigan. Before I share what progress I managed to make, it's time to share some of our community cast-ons. I have got quite a list again here. I've still got some more comments to catch up on, so if I missed out your project this time, then hopefully I shall catch you and wrap it all up on the next video. Nancy has cast on a top-down sweater from some Harvest Hues yarn from John Arbin and some crazy Zauber ball socks. Celeste has been working on some dishcloths and some soap sacks. I like the idea of the soap sack. She said that it's to kind of wrap up all the little bits of leftover soap that you kind of gather in, you know, bathrooms and stuff, and then you can put them in a sort of little washcloth and use them up instead of, you know, just those little bits hanging around. Jen is starting a woven scarf on her rigid heddle loom. Shiona has decided, instead of casting on projects each day, she's going to be working on some works in progress, one each day. And while she was watching one of the last cast on videos, she was working on a crochet afghan. Teresa has started a garter squish blanket, which I think is a Stephen West pattern if I remember rightly, and has some other cast-ons planned too. Catherine has started some plain socks and a hot water bottle cover. It's been quite chilly here in South Wales, and I used the hot water bottle in the bed for the first time the other day. Oh, some chilly nights. It is January. Dee has started a new shawl and has finished her 12 days of Knitmas MCAL. Sylvia has been working on a granny square blanket. Angie has started a Yell by Marie Wallen, which is a beautiful colourwork cardigan, and she said that's probably going to be her only cast on. Knitting Bandit has started 9 pairs of vanilla latte socks, which is just amazing. A forest path hat, a Felix and a Flaxlight for their 12 cast-ons. Mairead has started a saddleback cardigan. Katharina said she wasn't planning on joining in the cast on party this year because she still has a few whips left, and she says she finds it a little bit stressful when she has too many projects, which I completely understand. But she said she hasn't been able to resist the cast on frenzy and the enthusiasm of our community, so has actually started quite a few projects. So she started a lento, some socks, a brioche hat and a jelly roll blanket. Elaine has started some socks, a Mile a Minute's crochet afghan and a Sophie scarf. Kathy has started her 5th cast on, some garter rib socks. Heather is working on a Banff shawl and a couple of Musselburgh hats. Beverly is working on a baby blanket. Gemma has started some treasure socks, which is a Winwick Mum pattern, I believe. I've been seeing quite a few of those pop up on my Instagram feed. Looks like a really lovely pattern. I might have to join on the bandwagon for that one at some point. Nancy has started some winter frost socks. Joan said that she's a monogamous knitter, so is not going to join the cast-ons probably. However, what Joan has done, which I think is a really lovely idea, is she's actually lined up some new projects to start once her current work in progress is finished, which is fab. And if you manage to cast on before the end of January, Joan, even if you just put one new project on the needles, you're most welcome to join the chatter either on Instagram or over on the Ravelry threads. We'd love to have you as part of the cast on party. And finally for this video, Lottie has started a crochet Christmas garland. As I mentioned, there's plenty more cast ons. I haven't managed to catch up with all the comments. I'm doing my best to keep on top of everything, but I will of course share some more of our community cast ons in the next video. For now, it's time for me to share my progress from my first day of working on the garter marla, so let me just go and grab my project bag. I had so much fun working on this project. I think it's going to be a real joy just to play around with yarn and colour when I am able to get back to this project, and I managed to do a fair amount of knitting. It's garter stitch, so that's always a nice kind of easy soothing knit, isn't it? And my rows were definitely getting longer and longer towards the end, but I've managed to do a fair amount in the first day. So there's my ribbing at the top there, and I've done maybe 3 inches or so of the sort of garter pattern. As I say, I'm kind of increasing for the yoke. It's a bit tricky already to share the whole width of this project with you. Yeah, I'm just picking up colours as and when I fancy swapping things in or when things run out, and I'm, yeah, just kind of randomly choosing something from the bag, whatever I think might look nice next to sort of the previous colour that I've been working with. I think it's going to be quite a quick knit because of, you know, holding the yarn double, working on slightly bigger needles. But there's still plenty of knitting to go. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one turns out as I continue to work on it. Yeah, I did the ribbing. There was a little sort of short row section at the back here, and now I'm back to sort of working the full rows. As you can see, I've got quite a few ends hanging out on the back here. I've, for the most part, done the, what's it called? Clasp weft join. So once I finish, I'll be able to more or less just snip these ends off. I'll probably give it a wash and then I'll just go around trimming my ends. They shouldn't escape, but for now it will look a little bit crazy on the back with all of the ends hanging off. Although I've seen several sweaters in the shops recently where they have like strings and ends hanging off, so maybe I'm just being on trend if I don't weave in my ends or snip off the ends. The first time for everything, isn't there? I don't think I've ever been on trend in my life. Okay, that's everything for today's video. Cast on number 5 is done. I'll let you in on a little secret. I'm actually about to start cast on number 8 today. So I'm a few ahead, but behind on the editing. So yeah, I'm excited to share with you my other cast-ons, and I'm excited to start a new project today. So I will be back, of course, again soon with day 6, hopefully in a few days time. So I hope you will join me for that next video. Keep on letting me know in the comments below what you're working on or what you're casting on, if you are still casting on with us. And I will do my best to give as many people a shout out as I can in the next video. Until we do get to spend time together again, I hope you get to do some of the things that you enjoy. Great big woolly hugs to you all. Bye for now. Bye.